countryside for a long time, and he hadn't eaten a good meal in quite a while. One day, the traveler spotted a lovely village off in the distance. The hungry traveler became very excited and said to himself, "I'm bound to find someone in the village who will share a meal with me." As the traveler hurried to the town, he tripped over a stone in the road. The stone was not like any other that the traveler had ever seen. It was perfectly smooth and oval in shape. The traveler looked at the stone carefully and decided he would keep it. "You never know when a stone like this might come in handy," he said. Then the traveler happily headed to the village. There he is again. Took into account. Our villager is a dog. When the traveler arrived in the village, things did not go as well as he had hoped. He stopped at a few houses with no luck finding a meal. No one had any food to share. One house the traveler came to was very quiet. All the doors and windows were closed and the shades were drawn. The traveler began to think that no one was home. Finally, a maid appeared in the doorway. "Can you spare some food?" the traveler asked her. "I have been traveling for days and I'm very hungry." "I'm sorry, but I have only a few potatoes," the maid said. "There's not enough to spare or share. Why don't you try my neighbor next door?" "I already have," said the traveler, but he was very grumpy and just slammed the door. "Looks like finding some food in this village will be more difficult than I thought." "I'm sorry, but I cannot help you," said the maid as she closed the door. The hungry traveler refused to give up. He walked through the village, knocking on doors. There he is, with his stone. The traveler visited every house in the village, but no one had enough food to spare or share. "I only have some carrots," said one villager. "I only have this cabbage," said another. "I don't have any food," said a third. "I only have a little salt and pepper." Since there was no food for the hungry traveler, he decided to move on. He followed the path that led out of the village. His stomach grumbled and turned as he walked. Before he got very far, the traveler began to feel tired. He decided to get some rest in the cool shade of a tree just outside the village. As he sat under the tree, the traveler looked back at the quiet little town. "It's a shame," he thought. "Such a nice village and such a beautiful day, but nobody is outdoors talking or playing." Then the traveler reached into his bag and took out the smooth, oval stone he had found earlier in the day. Such a curious stone, he thought. Surely it must be special. As he sat admiring the stone, the traveler suddenly had a brilliant idea. There he goes. The traveler ran back to the village and shouted, "Come out of your houses, everybody. I have a magic stone. It will give us enough food for a wonderful meal. Everyone in town will have plenty to eat, and there will even be enough to spare and share." One by one, the curious villagers peeked out of their doors and windows. The grumpy villager, who slammed the door on the travel earlier that day, looked out his window and shouted, "What's all that racket about?" "Come help me make a pot of delicious stone soup," said the traveler. The maid stepped out of her house. "Stone soup? I've never heard of stone soup before," she said. Two excited children ran up to the traveler. "Is that your tummy growling?" one child asked. "Yes," replied the other. "Soon your stomachs will no longer grumble," said the hungry traveler. "We will have our fill of delicious stone soup." Look at them go. They're all making some soup. "Does anybody have a large soup kettle to get us started?" the traveler asked. The village looked at each other without saying a word. Finally, the big grumpy villager broke the silence. "I've got a black kettle that you can use," he said, "but I don't think it to go, he said. Now let's see if that magic stone of yours can really make enough soup for all of us. Don't worry, said the traveler. There will be plenty. The villagers gathered around the pot to see what the traveler would do next. The traveler placed a spoon of the stone into the kettle of water and began to stir. After a little while, he tasted the soup. Not bad, he said, but I think it could use salt and pepper. I've got some, said one of the young ladies. I'll run home and get it. Perhaps the soup would taste even better if I shared a few of my potatoes, the maid suggested. Yes, that's a great idea, said the traveler. Why don't you get them and we'll add them right away? The young lady returned and sprinkled her salt and pepper into the kettle. Then the maid came back and dropped in her potatoes. Once again, the traveler stirred the stone soup. When he tasted it for a second time, all the villagers watched him with anticipation. This is very good, but it would taste even better with some carrots and cabbage, said the traveler. Then a young boy ran home to get some carrots, and a little girl ran home to get her cabbage. The traveler smiled wide with each new addition. Genius. There they are, all making it, all dancing and singing. By now, everyone was having so much fun